Well, I've been keeping my new Tesla Model 3 a little bit under wraps because I want to get to know the car really well before I start making videos with it. It's now 8 weeks old, it's got 2,500 miles on the clock, and I wasn't expecting this to be my first video. So the car has developed a significant issue which has created multiple problems with the car. Quite a few safety problems as well, which are the most concerning. But it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So in this video, I'm going to see what Tesla customer service is like in 2022. Let's get cracking. Before buying this Model 3, I had 30,000 very happy miles in a 2019 Tesla Model S 75D that I purchased new from Tesla. What I didn't realise in buying a Tesla Model S, I would then have the privilege, because I love them all, of driving 7 or 8 other Tesla Model S's. Now, I didn't seek these cars out, they were just loaners, because that car had to keep going back for repairs. The car itself was really reliable, but there was just loads of minor things. So on a day before I went to pick that car up, Tesla contacted me to say that it had a big dent in it. It arrived with a dent, so they needed to fix that, which is just one of those things, I guess. Then when I did, so they had a loaner then. When I did pick it up, it had a massive scratch on it. So I had another loaner then. I had mirrors that wouldn't dip when you put the car in reverse. Sometimes they would, sometimes they wouldn't. I had parking sensors picking up things that weren't there. I had yellow border on the screen, which is quite common on the S's and the X's of that age. And it just had to keep going back. On the whole, it was really reliable. Just loads of these little niggly things that just kept going wrong with it. So after 2.5 years of owning it, I decided that I felt like a bit of a beta tester in that car. So I decided to sell it on and go for a Model 3, being very careful to get a Chinese built one. So this is not a Fremont built one. This is December 2021 car. I've heard that these are better put together. I don't know if that's true or not. It certainly hasn't got any weird panel gaps that a lot of Teslas have. The soundproofing is also very good. There's no kind of wind coming in anywhere. And it does feel like a really solid car. Because this has got the same performance as my Model S, I also bought the acceleration boost, which I absolutely love, which knocks half a second off the 0 to 60, just for a bit of variety. You know what it's like. I'm a fairly slow driver, I rarely use it, but it's nice to know it's there. So what happened to this car? What went wrong with it? On a recent trip to Milton Keynes, we had a whole heap of error messages come up. The traction control disabled, the stability control disabled, the power steering developed a fault, the autopilot features stopped working, and as you can see here, the airbag stopped working as well. It had no parking sensors either. It's just really inconvenient. The one thing I've learned in owning a Tesla is they can be quite sensitive, and you can get like error messages pop up, but it's fine the next time you start the car. That didn't happen with these. I also did a 3-button reboot on the car, still there. So I spent 20 minutes on hold to the Tesla breakdown service. And after 20 minutes, there was a recorded message that said, "Thank you for your call. It's very important to us. We're not going to be answering it today. Please feel free to try another day." At that point, I just booked a service appointment via the app for a few days' time, but I live an hour and a half away from the nearest service centre, so to drop the car in is a 3-hour round trip. At this point, I did scroll through Sky News just so I could see people with real problems, just to bring things down a bit. And because I was in Milton Keynes, which is where the service centre is, I thought I would just go round there on the off chance that they could have a look at it. When I arrived at the service centre, there was 2 technicians there, the last 2, and they were just locking up. So I felt slightly bad, but I think they saw the look at my face, just a bit kind of sad and miserable, and they immediately got their laptops back out. They spent a good half an hour just working on the car, trying to get to the bottom of the problem. I mean, these guys were excellent. They were on their way home, they were locking up. They could have easily said, "Look, you've got an appointment booked, just come back then." But no, I mean, I can't stress how good the service was when I arrived at the service centre. So after half an hour, they realised they couldn't fix it. It wasn't an easy fix. I told them about my 3-hour round trip to bring the car back, and they did all they can to find me they did all they could to find me a loaner. So I don't like dirty cars, I like clean cars, but I was very, very happy to get into this Model S loaner. It was filthy, it had just come back in, they hadn't had time to clean it and turn it round to be lent to somebody else, but I was just so grateful not to have to make that 3-hour journey. I had a few days in the Peak District booked. We had a wonderful time. If you've not been to the Peak District, I highly recommend it. And I took the Model S, and as mine was, they're just amazing mile eaters, really good on long trips. As I got to the Peak District, I had a message to say that my Model 3 was ready. I said, look, can I come and get it in a couple of days on the way back? They said, yes, that's fine. And then I headed off to get my car back. It's been a good time with this car. I've enjoyed it, but I'm looking forward to getting back into my car, although I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to get it out of this parking space. It looks like I could be here for some time. Just arrived at Tesla Milton Keynes, another tight space. Sorry about the sun. It's all charging now, ready for the next person. I can see somebody's had a bit of an issue with this wall before, but I promise, not me. Apologies again for not having a microphone. It's quite windy, but here she is. Here's my car next to this one. This one's quite poorly, but there's mine, looking lovely. Everything here is really well automated. Let's see if I can drop these keys off. So touch screen, drop off key, wave the sensor there. Oh, I hope I caught that. That box just opened. So I'll put the keys in there. That must tell them success. Make sure. Right, good to go. Right, so not good news. Sorry again about the sound, I just haven't got my mic with me. But I'm driving home, 15 minutes into my drive, I'm loving it. I've got the music playing, I love driving that Model S. I love driving this Model 3. I've driven for about 3 hours today in Teslas, and I'm very happy. However, this has happened. So the same messages basically are up again. The car is not happy. Whatever was wrong with it before is now wrong with it again. I haven't got any airbags by the looks of it. The ABS is off. Stability control is off. Regenerative braking is off. Cruise control is disabled. I haven't got some of the oh no, that's back on. That wasn't on a minute ago. Some of the most of the safety features are off. So as much as I appreciate everything the engineers have done at Tesla, I mean, I'm no further forward apart from spending a lot of time and effort driving to Milton Keynes and back. It looks like unless I can get them to pick the car up, I'm going to be doing it again. Out of all of the problems I've had with Teslas, and I'm not bashing Tesla, I really like the cars, but they are by far the most unreliable new cars I've ever driven, really. I mean, probably in 32,500 miles, I would say at least 8, maybe 10 service visits. And although this car still drives okay, the steering's very heavy, I'm reluctant to drive a car without safety features, without airbags, without traction control. Forget autopilot, because I can drive a car, but there's no autopilot. One of the hardest things to do is to park a car that you know has got parking sensors that aren't working, because I just keep forgetting. So I've nearly driven into the garage door twice because I'm just so used to the parking sensors working, and now they're not. I mean, if I crash this car, what are Tesla going to say? They're probably going to say the parking sensors are there to assist you, not to drive the car for you. Without the regenerative braking, the brakes feel really quite underpowered and very odd. The heated steering wheel has stopped. It's working today. So the heated steering wheel works sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. The wipers, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I spend my time having to just press this button here every time I want to do the windows. So I'm driving along in the rain, just constantly tapping this button. The heated seats, Now these are small problems, I guess, but the heated seats kind of work sometimes they don't. It's just a lot of errors on this car. As I've mentioned, and I think it's important to put this into balance, Tesla Milton Keynes have been unbelievable. So when I said that the car was broken again, I'm sent a text message. I didn't get a reply straight away, so I booked another service appointment. It was 3 weeks. I said, look, I'm not waiting 3 weeks because this problem is a reoccurrence of why it came in. They were straight back to me then. They got me straight in about 2 days later, and I'm just about to head off in the morning to drop this car back. Another day, another Model S loaner. This one has got a flat. So air pressure very low, 12 psi. I think it should be more than that. I suspect this has just got a puncture. So I pumped up the tyre, tried to repair it with some tyre weld, which seems to have held quite well. And I'm thinking nothing else could go wrong, could it? Oh, for goodness sake. I've just heard back from Tesla. Feel free to pause the video here. But I think basically what this text message says is that there's a problem with the earths on 2 wiring looms, 2 cans. There's also water ingress on a module causing that to rust or erode. So it seems like when it came back the first time, what they'd cured is a symptom of a larger problem. And I'm hoping that now they've got to the larger problem. And by the way, if you know what that means on that text, then just please let me know in the comments, because I kind of half understand it, but don't really understand it. I've also renamed the car, so the person who gets in next knows it's got a problem. We're here, the car is just parking itself. This one's got full self-driving. It's done it. Just dropped the key off. This smart box is having a connectivity issue and unable to proceed. Try restarting the device. Man, this is typically Tesla. While I'm just waiting for the smart box to reset itself, look at that lovely Model X. There she is, there's mine. And behind here is a Model Y. Now, it's the first time I've got really close to one of these. It looks lovely. It's quite a bit bigger than a Model 3. It kind of looks the same, but it's just taller, isn't it? And just a bit bigger. Really nice looking car. I can see why Tesla made these. Let's try again. Drop the key off. This, oh, for goodness sake, same message again. So I'm back in my car, which I'm very, very happy about. I'm really pleased. How have you been? Not very well. Me neither. Let's get you home. One thing I'm really pleased about is it's kept all my high scores on Skyforce Reloaded. And someone's done level 6 for me and got me 3,000 stars, which wasn't me, I don't think, so that's good news. Well, I'm uneventfully back, which is what I wanted, and it's so good to get back into my own car. I really enjoy that Model 3. Well, what do you think? So you've watched the video, you've watched my experience. What do you think? Rich Rebuild says, if you've got a Tesla and it hasn't broken down yet, give it time. Which I think is partially true, but it's the same for every car, isn't it? At some point, if you have a car, it will break down. However, my experience, at least with Teslas, is it happens sooner than you expect, and it happens more often. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they are amazing cars. 18 months ago, this happened to our car. We got rear-ended, and you can see the state of this car, and I hope it never went back on the road. But look at the back of the Tesla we were in. And the reason I'm talking about this is for balance. They are exceptionally good cars and exceptionally safe cars. My wife didn't even know we'd been rear-ended when that happened. But they're not perfect. Anyway, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, see you soon.